Hey folks, thanks for checking out the Inside GT Talk podcast. We had a great episode here for the Inside GT Talk podcast with Joe D'Amico, Ray Henry, Keith Gibbons, and myself. And unfortunately, we had a software issue and some video encoding issues. So we captured the audio. The video is terrible. So it is kind of all we can do at this moment. So rather than, you kind of can't bring everybody back and kind of get the same magic back that we had. So here is the version of it with basically just audio. So thanks for checking it out. Please subscribe. We've got the issue fixed, and we're going to put out some more great content soon. Thank you again. What's up, Gloucester Township? I'm Joe Allen here with Keith Gibbons. And this is Inside GT Talk.
It is Inside GT Talk, and we have guests with us today.
We got some guests over here. Let's kick to the guests right away, guys. Tell us who you are.
What's up, GT Talk? This is Joe D'Amico, running for Gloucester Township Council.
I'm Ray Henry, also running for Gloucester Township Council.
Today, all we're doing is this is the second episode where this is just kind of talking about topics that are on social media. Gloucester Township Talk specifically, I guess, is what we're looking at here today. But just BSing of what the heck the town is talking about.
This is the fun part we get to do. We covered the council meeting over an hour and a half of council meeting, and this is where we just kind of get to go through what's happening in Gloucester Township, basically.
Oh man, what isn't happening?
What's not happening in Gloucester Township?
Well, we so far. I know there was something recently, and Ray, I know that you know about this one. Somebody had bees that they wanted to get rid of.
The wasp nest.
Yeah, there was a wasp nest that somebody's like, "Hey, are there any beekeepers around that would like to come get these?" And you're like, "Really? Are you kidding me?"
If not, I'm going to spray it with Raid.
Yeah.
I have a ladder. She was going to give somebody a ladder.
Yeah. That was a good one.
There was a great video on. It was a guy that it was like an M80.
Oh yeah.
On a pole.
Yeah, he stuck the M80.
Stuck it right in, blew it up.
No.
Done.
I missed that.
Oh, it was great.
It was.
Where's the footage of that?
I don't know. We'll have to find it for you. It wasn't in Gloucester Township. It was just like on the internet. I think somebody posted as a response. Like, this lady thought these were like honeybees that somebody watched. She's like, if there's any beekeepers, I'll let you get them. Like, oh, thanks. Thanks for letting me take care of your wasp
problem. Do I get to keep the honey?
Yeah.
So
that was a good one.
On the list, basically, we scroll through a couple of the Township Talk pages. There are, like 4 of them?
There's probably 30 different Gloucester Township pages. When you talk about the dog park or there's a lot of them.
Yeah,
there's a few of them. But anything gets a ton of comments. It hits like, I think we kind of kicked this off. A couple weeks ago with Joe's post on.
We did,
hey, what business do you want? We got.
You were. I don't know what happened, Joe. You were on fire for a minute there. You had every post that you had was like the town. What was it? The what businesses are in town? Then you had another one followed up right after that. And then you had a couple duds recently, but
yeah. We had another one the other day though with the. We put our sign out in front of the municipal thing. A lot of love. I mean, there's 100 and some people. Look, anything to get people engaged,
right?
And that's what it really comes down to. You're not going to hit a home run every time at bat, but more than anything, we're just looking for engagement. We just want people to like look. We're out here. Let's talk about things. Say if you have something to say, let's get it out. We're never always going to agree, or things aren't always going to be perfect. But
I think you had the one that was at the what is it called? The rec center, right?
Rec center, yeah.
That one kind of took off there for a little bit.
Yeah,
but
Photoshop skills.
Huh? Yeah.
Oh, my Photoshop skills are fantastic.
that is
point.
I have
not-
the Photoshop skills of an 80-year-old. I'm pretty. I'm pretty.
It's
pretty
funny
primal.
because we know you you just learned how to use
I
it.
got my first app. It's incredible. I'm almost
as-
50 years old. I got my first app. It's incredible.
My first app. He's like, I'm on the App Store. I've been there. I've been to the App Store.
I didn't know you needed a password to download these things. It's incredible.
Yeah.
As a campaign, we sent Joe a cease and desist on sending lovely stuff.
Was it the Bryce Harper one?
No, that's another one.
I think
too,
Bryce
but
is a fan. I mean,
I
I
think-
think he might be a fan.
He might be, yeah.
He might be a fan. They were Phillies colors. It was in good spirit, I think.
This one, so this one was great because it.
What was
Well-
the question? Well, I don't even remember what this was. I just know it had a lot of engagement.
Well, I think there was more. There
Well,
was
you know
more
what?
than just this.
The
one,
highlights
right?
of this thing were that we. I was talking about how our municipal, and that's a key word, municipal taxes have gone up, and this came from Pete Heimbaugh to give credit for the numbers and everything. That our municipal rate has gone up over 70% since the mayor came in, right? So a lot of people came in like, well, my taxes didn't go up 70%. You know, my taxes are like that's a outlandish number to go. Your municipal taxes, which is what it costs to run your local government, your police,
Right.
and such. You know,
Public Works.
that went up 70%.
Right.
Right. That's not
The
your
things that
schools.
council is running for
Well,
and has the ability.
God forbid I actually talk about the things that we're
Right.
actually.
But that's my
looking to
point,
run
though. Is
on.
you're running for that position,
Yes.
and that's what you're talking about.
Right.
Yet people are breaking your stones about
Thank you, Joe.
right municipal taxes. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So people are breaking your stones over something that's completely out of your control,
Right.
And you're
So-
like, all right, guys, let's reel it in. Like we're talking about
I
municipal.
don't. There's if elected, if and when, God willing, we don't control the schools' budgets.
Right.
That's
So why
not
would I
something-
talk about school?
Why would I
know
talk
a
about
guy.
schools? We can't affect the school budget. It's not our
Yeah.
domain. So all we can talk about is exactly what it is we're talking about,
Right.
which is municipal budgets.
People don't understand that. They still want to tell you that you're going to vote for foreign policy, issues. Like,
Well,
are you for,
yeah.
Are you for Israel or Palestine?
That's a different
You're like,
post, actually. There's another one, Joe, because Joe hit it. The business post, and then there was an election post, and then
Yeah.
there was this post. So this post here, the funny thing that got me about this, and I'd say funny, but it also at the same time kind of infuriated me because like it was like for the first time people were like, are you telling me there's a tax problem here?
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, the one.
And they're like,
Yeah.
are you sure?
Yeah. But can you
Have
show
you
that to me in
followed-
a chart? Like, do you know what's going on here? Yeah, it was.
Storage GT's got to be 4 years old.
Yeah, it's definitely 4 years old.
And there's been, we have put citizens' budgets on there. We've done articles on taxes. We've got graphs. And people are going, you guys
Show
are
me
shitting
proof.
me, right? There's
Right.
really a tax problem here? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, it's insane.
The endless amount of work that we've done to tell you that there's a problem here that you haven't paid attention to.
Yeah.
Thank you for finally seeing it.
Maybe this sounds insensitive, but when you have citizens, they go, and somebody made this. They said, "Well, you want my vote? You need to prove to me that the other side
Yes.
has been doing something wrong." Wait, the burden of proof goes to me. Like, do you not get your tax bill?
Right.
The burden of proof goes on to me that there's been appropriations of funds.
Right.
Thing, and it's a reason why that it's going up from again my taxes $6,000 over $10,000 since 2006.
I think you said.
Yeah. So like what changed?
Yeah.
Did What changed?
Yeah, the other thing too that I picked up on that specific comment was when somebody says, "Okay, what makes you think that you deserve my vote?" And my first thing is, I have been here for years.
Yes.
Talking with you about these issues. Where have they been? You've never talked to any of them. I'm sure you have never talked to any of them. Maybe you see them somewhere and you get a chance to say hi, shake their hand or whatever. You have never talked to them in any kind of conversation on social media or text message or called them even.
Right.
You've never talked to them. Here's an individual who's saying...
You mean that they have never talked to anybody
who is currently in those positions.
Of course, of course not.
But somehow it's as the person, not as the opposition,
sure.
It's your burden of proof to prove to them that they deserve your vote.
Yeah.
Oh wait, what have they done in that position
the whole thing
keep your vote?
The whole thing's incredible to me. It's like it's somehow they're like, well, you Republicans, and I like, hold on, I've never done anything negative to affect anything in your life.
Right.
I go to work, I pay my taxes, I do everything I can, and then in my spare time, I try to get in the way of, and same as most of you guys, we collectively take our time, volunteer, raise money, donate money, time, effort, just for in the hope that we're going to be able to help other people lead more successful lives.
Yeah.
And that's really what it comes down to. That's all I do as employers.
Right.
Keith, how many employees have you lost? Do you go like, you know what? I hate to lose that employee, but I'm glad that I set them on a better.
Oh my God!
I want people to.
When I was in like the corporate world of of things, I had up to like 1,400 employees at a time, and one of the things I kind of always prided myself on was always being able to push somebody on to something higher that they're able to move on to, where other people kind of in my position would almost hold somebody back. Be like, if I lost that person, you know how devastating that would be. I'd have to replace it. Guess what? That's a you problem, not a them problem. Why are they held back and hamstrung by what you're not able to put them out? And I would say, you know what? I'd rather you go on and be successful into something else versus me being conveniently. You know what I mean? Like
Ray and I are both military guys,
right?
So I mean, one of the things that you do as a military, as a sergeant, things like that, you write guys up, and you write guys. You write accommodations. You try to get them medals. You try to get them recognition. You try to get them squadron or leadership awards and things like that, because you want to promote people,
right.
So your ultimate hope is that these guys
better other people's lives.
They're going to succeed you, right? They're gonna far exceed everything you're gonna do, because I'm a general contractor, right? And I've brought in so many people. All I want from them at some point, they're going to leave me. I know they are. They're going to go out, they're going to get a license, they're going to open up their own flooring companies, they're going to open up their electrical license, whatever they're going to go do. I help them get to that place.
Right.
Yeah. Right? I help them grow, and you hope that you grow, just like your children.
Right.
You hope that all the lessons you teach them when they're young, it allows them to be great human beings moving forward.
Right.
And I think personally, like when you bring in government into this, right? It's difficult to watch what we watch, because I don't think that people are succeeding.
Yeah.
I don't think that we're growing our municipality. I don't think we're growing our town. We're growing the budget, but we're not like growing the people within it. In my personal opinion,
right?
No,
I know. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
It is. It's a different. I didn't think we were getting political on this whole thing. It's a different.
It's a tough time of year to not.
It is. That's
the thing.
There's a lot of
topic that you're.
There's a lot of shit going on in the world right now. It's if you can't. It's hard to ignore.
Yeah. Well, and we didn't do it inside GT Talk last week because the only things that were online were political. Like the biggest.
We skipped an entire week of it. We literally did.
The biggest posts on here were political, and we thought, well, we don't want to do a political podcast, but it is. I think the month of October is pretty much going to be
Yeah, we almost couldn't skip it again. But I guess going into what I cut myself off from saying is like there's different views of how the government should be and shouldn't be.
Yeah, of course.
And your view, and I'm in the same opinion too, that the government should stay out of my way as much as possible. They're there to protect my rights.
Yeah.
Help provide services that are, necessary.
Or not infringe upon them more than anything.
Right. Not infringe
your rights are already there.
Rights.
They don't have to protect them. They have to not infringe upon them.
Exactly.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
I said it incorrectly, but you're right. But it's not everyone's view. Some people want, what I don't know what you want to call it. Mommy and daddy there for them to make decisions, or I don't know what the way to say it is, but. I don't want them. I don't need them. I've grown up. I've moved on. You know what I mean? And that's kind of how I view it.
Yeah. So the other post that we were going to bring up actually the week before was this one. Was just talking about vote for, basically the from the campaign page, just saying, hey, vote for us, and this sparked into.
I can't read what it was, but
I
know I've seen it.
It wound up at 124 comments, but it just kind of went on and on and on.
I'm amazed at how positive everything's been, and that's
positive,
that's what I got.
Except for the first guy that's on here, I know who not to vote for.
So. Yeah, there was a bunch of replies.
I don't know.
I love the.
I don't know if that was negative. He goes, I know not who to vote for. He didn't say who it was. Right, so he knows.
Well, he later on said that that's what he was saying for it. Yeah, you could go to it. It was basically the Republicans because they're Republican and national politics.
It's incredible that just because people are Republican, you don't want to vote for them.
Right.
Yeah. Perfect.
I don't. That's the thing that kills me too, is going back. Go back years and years and years, a long time ago. Just thinking about. I don't know. The both parties 20 years ago, I thought they weren't that far apart.
No, they weren't.
It's that, yeah.
Right? And they just they both were kind of just vanilla. They weren't really, it just wasn't a drastic thing. And then even today you could be the most left-wing person or the most right-wing person. And if you win a council seat, it's really not. It really doesn't matter.
I never.
That's the point. Yeah, I mean,
I never understand how people don't take national politics. Like, I love the fact, and this is one of the things that we talked about in one of these podcasts, or I'm sorry, not podcasts, but on a thing. We used to have, just like school board, we used to have nonpartisan elections.
Yeah.
Now, this administration did away with that, and the beauty of that was what they found out was when Cindy Rohatyn got elected, and there was like two other council people, I think, at the time. When the mayor got elected, he goes, shit, how do we stop that? Oh, Faulkner Act. So they switched the form of government, and they changed the way we did things.
Yep.
And they made it very, very partisan.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, like,
literally partisan, where it was not partisan before.
Well, exactly, right? So they made it very, very, very partisan because they said, okay, well, this is our way to exercise control. How else can we do it? Let's limit free speech and those kind of things in a way of, let's put an ordinance on how you can't put signs out. You can't advertise for yourself. You can't have political discussions. You can't do this. And then they kind of chastise the whole process when you go to events and they go like, oh, we don't do that here. We went out.
We're doing it currently, but you can't do that. That's basically how it works.
Gloucester Township Day. We were asked to not hand out our business cards because not Gloucester National Night Out.
National Night Out.
Because National Night Out.
This isn't a political event.
Is not a political event, but
there was a whole campaign trail running around. We're running
following Moriarty, mayor, and
yeah, they're making the rounds. They're shaking everybody.
Taxpayers are paying the dollars.
But but we, personally, I don't know. I feel like I'm awkward with that. So like, it's not my thing. But yeah, anybody else that tried to do it, they squashed them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the switching the thing to
and it was
partisan elections too. I mean, if you're a big political machine and you want a safe zone, put yourself in the Democrat side.
Right. We're a coastal, blue state. Like, you got to be kidding me. What else would you be?
And then say our opposition now has to be Republican when there's no Republicans in the area.
Yeah.
Right.
That was the safe way for the machine to go. They may not even
What
be
is this
Democrats.
machine you speak of?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, how high does it go? It
Check
goes,
back on our old podcast, and we have episodes on machines,
YouTube
political
page
machines.
on political machines, the history on political machines too. It's on RestoreGT.com.
But even that topic though of stating that this administration changed it to be a partisan thing came out to be prove that. Are you kidding me? Like, it's provable. Literally do a Google search. It's
That's right. There was
somebody
there were
said that.
deniers.
Prove it. Yeah.
You know me with my camera. I gotta go everywhere. So I got fired up that day, and I was like, you know what? F that guy. I'll go down to the Board of Elections. I'll go ask somebody in the Board of Elections. It's a public space. We talked about freedom of speech and First Amendment rights on the other thing, and freedom of press. I'll go down there with my camera and I'll go film somebody. So of course I know somebody down at Board of Elections and called them and say, hey, are you in your office? Because I'm coming down there. I'm going to interview you. And I happened not to be there, and I got sidetracked. But it just fired me up, though, that somebody's literally going to question, like,
I'm amazed that
really?
Yeah.
It's because you say that it's a Democrat that did this, you're going to say that's impossible. What?
It's amazing to me that we live in this town that's a show me state, right?
Oh yeah,
show me.
Yeah,
like, I'll walk around with my eyes closed the entire time to everything. I'm completely innocuous, right?
Right.
I'm not looking at anything, but the minute you say something, I need proof.
Oh yeah,
it's like, that's cool. I'm glad that my job is to make sure that you know what's going on in your town.
Right.
Right. I guess by virtue of being an elected official, but I'm not an elected official.
Right.
I'm just like you. He's just like you. Joe's just like you.
Yeah.
We're just people that have taken an interest in you and protecting you from the government.
Right.
And somehow or another, we're the victims. Or like, I woke up, like, when I ran for mayor, it was crazy. I would show up, and I always say it reminds me of, like, when you watched what's the movie with Eddie Murphy, Coming to America.
Yeah, Coming to America.
Like,
yeah.
Good morning, people. It's like, he's like, yeah. Yes. Yeah. And that's the way it was. I would put something on Facebook like, good morning, Facebook. Yeah. And they were like, have you?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, why is Joe Allen trolling me?
And here you are with him.
Well, and that you know what, to that point. So we put together, and we kind of corralled everything and go, look, what do you give a shit about? He goes, I give a shit about town. Like, what do you give a shit about? I'm like, I give a shit about the town.
Right.
Wow, we both give a shit about the town. Do we have differences? Probably.
Right.
Here or there. But in the grand scheme of things, they don't matter because we just care that the town's ran great.
Right.
And we all know that the way it's ran is not perfect.
Yeah. That was a crazy thing too, because I wasn't running for mayor, but I was running with someone that was running for mayor.
Right.
So there were two guys running for mayor that wanted the same thing for the town. Now one guy had more budgeting experience, and the other guy had more business experience, and it was kind of like, we all want the same thing.
Right.
That was the kicker. Yeah. That back then was just we just nobody knew about each other basically back then, and
but it all boils down to I had this clip on. I know I brought it up to you before, like that Jimmy Dore clip where he goes into this whole tirade about how do you win. It's basically, look, your neighbor is not your enemy, right? And it's the military-industrial complex is your enemy. Big pharma is your enemy.
Sure.
Big insurance is your enemy. All these other things are your enemy that are completely out of your control here in town. And it's just, what are you pulling it up here?
I don't even know if I can find it, but
you can find it on there. I'm sure.
You know, Keith, you know what it reminds me of?
What's that?
Step Brothers.
Step Brothers.
You're sitting around with Keith and I. We started running. We decided we were going to run together, and everything was like, hold on. Did we just become best friends?
Yeah.
You want to go to the garage and practice karate?
Yeah, there it is, right there.
Well, I gotta tell you, dude, that was.
Hold on, here we go.
That just on that point, that was one of the weirdest things. Was at some point during the 2021 campaign, I disliked these guys more than I did the guys that were running, because they just hid.
Right.
The other guys just hid
away.
Right. I'm battling it out with these guys online. But the other guys, they
and they're just your enemy.
They just weren't
they're
there,
just your
right?
neighbor.
And and then a month after the election, when they called me and said, "Look, let's fix this place," and I went and sat down with them.
Right.
It was awkward for like 10 minutes, and then after that, it was like, okay.
Did we just become best friends?
Yeah, exactly.
You want to go to the garage practice karate?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes!
And clip is from Jimmy Dore is perfect there.
All right, let me.
How do you play that?
He goes, I don't have a message for that guy. And I'm like, well, that's why nobody ever heard of you.
I don't.
You know how to have a message to recruit him?
This is it's tougher when you're.
What are you doing here?
It's live.
Here we go.
Don't you have a message to recruit him? Because he goes, I don't have a message for that guy.
I don't think you're even going to hear that.
You know how you organize? Just like Christian Smalls did at the Amazon warehouse on Staten Island. Now, if you don't know Staten Island, it's all full of Trump voters. And he's a black guy who organized a union of Trump voters on Staten Island. And how do you do that? Well, I'll tell you how you don't do it. You don't go to the union floor and go, who here's a Proud Boy? You're out. Who's a Boogaloo Boy? You're out. Who doesn't like Social Security? You're out. You're out. Okay, who's left? Now let's organize. That's not how you do it. When people on the left say we're going to organize along class lines, they don't even realize what they're saying. Because what that means is organizing with Trumpers. And they say, we'll never do that. Well, that's what organizing along class lines means, moron. And that's why you haven't accomplished anything in your life except divide the country. Your neighbor's not your enemy. The military-industrial complex is your enemy. Wall Street is your enemy. Big pharma, big insurance, that is your enemy, not your neighbor.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, it's exactly.
Right? Put that in a national slogan right there. I mean, that's a...
Yeah.
Oh man,
special edition.
But I mean, there couldn't be anything more true than that, you know. Like, and that's you guys have experienced it from running against the machine, and
we ran against each other.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
you're running against each other, but you're both running against the machine, and then somehow you guys are battling each other. When the big problem is the machine, and my argument's been a lot of times about. They do good things, and it's not that they're bad people or anything like that. But it's when you're part of that whole machine that's keeping things going. That's the problem, and that's where you have people that are in there for 20 years. They don't need to. New ideas need to come into place. Yeah. So when people say like, "Oh, this town, this tax," you need to be able to vote for somebody other than a Democrat. Even though you're a Democrat, you need to be able to. Unfortunately, we're in a two-party system, right?
Forget about party, though. In local elections, just
that's my
elect
point.
People. Just people. You're not voting for party. You're elected for people, right? So, and that's what I love about the schools. The schools still maintain that nonpartisan, election where you go. The issue is,
well, they try to.
Well, there's 9 people. 6 of them are on the same party. Right. So just take that, and the other 3 people, I think they're all Democrats, right? But
they are all, but they're not part of the machine.
But they're not part of the machine. So they're not. All 3 of them are Democrats that are a little bit more centric, and they're not part of the machine. Yeah. More than that. So imagine that you have 9 Democrats to choose from in school board. Put that in perspective. In a nonpartisan election, you have 9 Democrats to choose from.
And that's it. There's no.
Is that wild?
Even when it doesn't matter.
Even when 7, 8, and 9, which I think everybody should vote for personally because they're not part of the machine.
Right.
1, 2, and 3 are running completely unopposed.
Right.
And one of them is on the school board and is the head of public works.
Did he ever become fire commissioner? Was that also?
No, I think he dropped out.
No,
I know he was running for it.
I mean,
he dropped out.
Can we talk about that for a minute? There's a lot of crossover in this town.
There's a lot of guys that want to run everything.
I mean, if I ran Public Works, and listen, it's not an easy job, but let's be honest.
He's a supervisor. He's not running it.
Well,
Tom Cardis is running Public Works.
Well, that's true, but
let's
say from day-to-day operations, let's say that he runs Public Works. That's a big outfit to run. You're running a big major division in a very, very big town. There's a lot of responsibility goes along with it, and that shouldn't be overlooked. Should not. Should that same person be sitting on and running 3 high schools? Right. That seems a little like you didn't have enough responsibility in a town. You're also part of running the 3 high schools that you're.
I wouldn't say running though. I would say
how's it?
Making decisions for it.
Making decisions.
The superintendent's job is to run it. The school board kind of
that's fair.
Lays the groundwork, and it's the superintendent and the administration's job to execute what the goal of the board is. You know what I mean?
Obviously, you understand this better than I do because I've never sat on on anything. So, but if I
an uncomfortable chair, maybe.
Yeah, well, that's true. if I ran Public Works, and I've also
I know what you're saying, but it's a lot of responsibility. It's a lot of decision making. But that was your point of this whole crossover. There's a lot of the same people making the same decisions in multiple departments within the town.
For unpaid positions, so it seems like, what is their motivation? That's what you have to ask yourself. All right, are they that much bought into the town that they're willing to donate their time because of what the town's given them in the way of
So you're an employer, Joe, right? I'm an employer. Over the course of my life as an employer, I've learned that not everybody responds or craves, or I'm not sure what it needs, the same level or the same recognition. Like whether it's, what I'm trying to say is like some people like all they care about is dollars. Like I want to make sure I get a raise. Okay, good. I could pay you more money and you'll be happy. The next person, all I want is a thanks. You could pay me $1 an hour, and all I want is you to thank me every day. Another person, all they want is the title. They could literally be the janitor, and you call them the president of custodial services, and they're happy. Everyone has a different driving force, right? And I feel like within those type of positions, they're willing to. Let's. I don't know how to word this properly here.
Carefully.
So everything that I say is my own opinion and not that of any position that I may hold.
Sell their soul?
But you would... I don't know how to say it right, but they may want to vote for a certain vendor to get a contract or to... have a bill paid that's ridiculously overpriced for what it should be, because they know that vendor is going to donate to a campaign or a PAC that may fund their campaign when they run for whatever it is.
Brings us back to what we were talking about online with the $2.9 million that were brought up, and that was a big topic that came up on Facebook.
Yeah.
Right, so Denise Coyne brought that up in council, and so did Denise. Dina
Hendry.
Dina Hendry brought it up as well. That these pay-to-play vendors that come into town who don't own businesses in town yet, over the course of the last 10 years, have given like enormous sums.
Yeah, it was $2.9 million is what
it's not insignificant. So it comes out to basically like $2.5 million a year. When you ran, Keith,
no, not $2.5 million a year,
over 10 years, a little over 2.5. I'm sorry, $250,000 a year,
right?
Over 10 years, a 10-year period. When you ran on the elect report, how much money was thrown against your campaign?
I'll have to get back to you on that. I don't have to the decimal point number.
Just spitball. No decimal points. Yeah. Just spitball.
I believe roughly it was around $100,000, $90,000 for a non-paid position.
That's a non-paid position.
Yeah. Non-paid.
Who? Why would anybody spend $100,000? 90, 80. We'll say 80. Let's make sure that your numbers aren't high. Right. Why would any person or organization spend $80,000? You know how hard it is to make $80,000 a year?
I do know. I actually work. You work?
Do you work?
You work? Yeah. Everyone here works?
80 grand.
Could
you use an extra 80 grand?
Yes, I could. Yes, I could.
So why would you take 80 grand and hand it to somebody who's going to run against this poor guy over here who's just trying to make sure his
run this year against Dina Hendry, who's a mom of
three kids. We
need to make sure we take her out
of humble means, and all she says is look, all I want is my kids to be fed. They're able to do sports and they're able to do normal activities, and man, I'd love to be able to take a vacation once a year.
Yeah,
that's as humble as it comes.
Right.
That's the American. That's our town. Right. For most people.
Yeah.
There's people of better means. There's people of lower means, and a vacation's not achievable for some people. And for Dina and her family, she's like, "That's my goal.
Right.
I want to raise my boys, and I want to spend a little time and go on vacation every once in a while." To take 80 grand and run against that person.
Yeah.
Or 90 grand, 100 grand.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's insane.
Yeah.
For an unpaid position.
I mean, think about
it blew my mind when I heard that.
Well, it's got to get you how bad they want it.
Why?
Because I know.
You wonder why.
And I think
know why.
I think you made the comment somewhere. It's one of the meet and greets that I don't want to do this. This is not.
I said I need this. I need a hole in the head. I could go back to living a relatively nice life.
That's the thing. I have never wanted to do this, but what I did want was I wanted to represent the people that were almost in tears back in 2018 that were saying, I can't afford my house.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'll be the guy. I'm going to learn this system.
In the service, they call it a call to arms.
Yeah, I'll be this guy that learns this process. Yeah. And I've gone to council meetings since then to learn the process because I thought, hey, they can fire whatever they want at me. Yeah. I've got thick skin. They can do whatever they want. But I'm the guy. I don't want to do it. Yeah. I don't have any intentions to do anything beyond council, but I do want to fix my township.
And do you want to do it for 20 years? Or would you like to get in there and then maybe there's other people?
No, I think I think we've all talked about it, and we want to fix it and hand it off to competent people and be like, hey, we gave you a good product.
You know what?
It's good.
Look, we ran an ad on the campaign about campaign pay to play.
Right.
You kill that, right? If you kill that and you open this up so that regular people can just step up and represent their township, then in 4 years, I've accomplished that. I'm ready to go do whatever else I want to do and hand that off to somebody else that's just a regular person that's not backed by any kind of machine, that doesn't have big donor money. I would love that.
This place has been 100% democratically controlled. With the exception we have mayor not we, but mayor was controlled by in 2006 and 2010.
Yeah, Cindy.
Right. So, but for the most part, going back I don't remember the last time it's been a Republican-controlled township. I don't know it. So it's been over 20 years, at least. So, why not? Why not give it another shot? Why not flip it and see? Hey, you know what? How's the town go differently? Maybe it can be ran differently. Maybe some things are better. Look, I guarantee you, there's things we'll do worse. Happens.
Oh yeah.
Right? Yeah. You're going to mess something up.
Yeah.
But there's things you're going to do better. Right? So there's the ebbs and flows and all these things, but
everything flips.
Right? Yeah. Everything flips. Right? So there's some things like
a pendulum can only go so far, right? Until it has to come back.
And nobody that's new to it is going to do everything right. It's just not going to happen. It's impossible. Yeah. However, the long-term effects of having 20 people in charge for 20 years, that slingshots another almost 10, 20 years of policy. When you've been borrowing...
Of changing.
Right? Yes.
Yeah, like whoever goes in has a huge uphill battle to fight. It's all of like, the borrowing.
Right? You didn't lower taxes. No shit.
You're right.
And you know why $14 million last year. How do you want me to pay for that?
You know what? It's the same argument that like a Democrat that's arguing that you didn't lower taxes is the same Democrat that's arguing that it's not Biden's economic policy. Now it was policy before that. Okay, if we're calling that the problem, then what's the problem here? You know what
I mean? I was walking when we were walking. I was walking with Chris Deverella, and one of the things they ran on is that he was anti-police and he was this that the other. He goes, so he's walking me, and the guy's sharp kid, a kid. He's a grown man, but he's sharp guy. 25 years old. He's council president in Washington Township. Now, they get in, and don't quote me on any of this stuff, but they're behind the 8 ball, kind of like we would be if we get in, right? Right, so there's a deficit. And he was labeled as being anti-police. And he's like, Joe, he goes, we don't have any money. The police chief wanted 10 cops. He goes, I don't have money for 10 cops. The township doesn't have money for 10 police. Yeah. He goes, I could give you 2 new cops and get some people off the desk and get them moving. He goes, and then all of a sudden I'm labeled as anti-police. He goes, I'm just being fiscally conservative. Like I'm trying to make sure that we can actually pay for all this and not take on more debt service than we can actually atone for.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
But it would become villainized for trying to actually be responsible with the taxpayers' money.
Yeah.
That's a difficult thing.
And that's a totally understandable. Like a perfect example. If you were I don't know how often you ever go to Philadelphia to like City Hall.
I avoid it like the plague.
I same, but girl, same. But anyway, I had to go over recently to L&I, and they changed everything since COVID. Now this is again, you walk into City Hall, the building down, you go downstairs, and there's all these
beautiful building.
Yeah, all these different like vestibules that you're not. What do you call them? Not mutuals. All whatever people that are sitting there with their computer to help you, whether it's for like the cubicles, the health department, this department, the tax, all these different offices, and I had to go in. You had to make an appointment since COVID for whatever reason. This one department that I needed to go to for taxes I had to put an appointment in. I couldn't do it for that day. I had to do it for the day in the future. No one in any of the seats in this department. There's nothing. Nothing's going on there. There's 8 people sitting behind windows, all with the screen that's on their computer facing me. Every one of them's on Facebook, Twitter, all different, things. And I can't go up there and just get it done what I needed to get done. I needed to go back the following day after I made an appointment, and they're all sitting there. I'm like, you literally can't handle this? They're like, no, you had to make an appointment. Why?
Welcome to the DMV.
Right, exactly. The DMV. All these different things. It's like, this is what Chris was trying to deal with. Is like, okay, we have people on the desk being paid to do something. Let's get them off the desk. Let's put them on the street and do something else. We're already paying this person to do it. Why is the government going to help this job to do not nothing, but less, instead of building them up and like we were talking about earlier, moving them on and building them into a new bigger position.
There you go.
More responsibility.
So you grow the people from within rather than hiring from outside.
Yeah.
Right. So think about the best baseball or football organizations. They have a great farm. They have a great farm system.
Yeah. Yep.
And they develop from within.
Yep.
Right. They keep the payroll low. Like look at what the Florida Marlins have done forever.
Yeah.
Right. They've had like a $13 million payroll, and they're winning World Series where the Yankees got a $200 million payroll.
Yeah.
And they're shitting the bed because
one
has a bunch of money, So it's easy to just keep throwing money at a problem.
Right.
Where, the Marlins will turn around and they're just going to like, hey, we better cultivate and figure out how to get better talent in.
Yeah. But we had other topics, too, that we had come up, right, Joe?
I'm trying to find
What'd you have in mind there?
Joe, are you sponsored by Under Armour?
No, that's a whole thing for him.
Just looking over here.
So.
Oh yeah, this one.
Let's just put that out there to make sure we get you a sponsorship.
They closed down all the stores and the outlets that I could shop at. And not like going to the mall.
This wasn't prompted, by the way. That wasn't set up.
I go to I like to shop at the outlets because they're right down the street from me.
Right.
And they got rid of all the other stores.
Except for Under Armour?
Yeah, basically. The Under Armour is the only men's store that's left.
Nah, you got Reebok. I shop at Reebok.
I don't think I've ever been in that store.
Reebok's got some nice stuff.
Yeah, never.
We got Reebok.
There's Puma too.
I find the people at Reebok very nice and courteous. I'm a customer service kind of person. I like the interaction. And they'll talk to you and have a conversation. People at Under Armour.
Shop at Nike?
No.
Yeah, they hate America. So
they hate America.
So this one. I wanted to hit this one because this one was just I didn't know where this came from, and I didn't realize it was a social experiment.
This is me, yeah. So Deli Cozy. This is. Are
you a silent majority owner in that?
No, I'll tell you what. Listen, this place they do have phenomenal cheesesteaks. I was turned on to them by somebody that told me to go here. It's over in Glendora. There's a few different, I guess, delis in that area there.
You have Larry's Deli on the corner, and this place. And this place is
it's changed hands a few times.
It's changed hands a bunch of times, and I'd like to find something to grab some success because it seems it's accessible. It's a
So I guess it's Muslim or something where they're against pork or they don't sell ham there, but their cheesesteaks are dynamite.
Halal.
But I've literally had a few times.
So do they have cheese in meat, or that's
that's I think you're talking vegan or something, but that's not.
All right.
Either way, they were good. But I was in there and I was talking to the guy a couple different times, and as I'm leaving with my daughter, I just thought to myself, I'm like, you know what? If I posted that this thing was, I forget what happened prior to that, but I think something was posted by, I don't know, one of us that was like a very important topic or a thing, and it's just like crickets happen on the Facebook. I'm like, watch this. I bet if I post something about a cheesesteak, this post will blow up. It'll be almost as great as Joe D'Amico's post. I don't know.
52 comments on just a cheesesteak.
But 163 reactions to it and 52 comments about just saying they have a great cheesesteaks. People, it's like they don't care, or it goes back to like what we were talking about on the podcast when you guys were on. Are people intimidated to say like what they actually feel because they're going to get passed over for a job, or
I don't know. I don't know if it's intimidation or
it's fear of retaliation of some sort. It can't be anything else. Tell me it's something else. How could it be?
I don't know. Else? Walking and knocking on doors and talking to people, it's a good mixture. But there was a few people, especially in the last couple of weeks. One guy, I knocked. And I was being courteous and introduced myself, and right away was like, "Are you a Republican or a Democrat?" And I was like, "I'm a Republican." Right away, nothing else. Get off my property. Start dropping F-bombs, screaming at me from behind the door.
Right? You really got to have a lot of hate in your heart.
Yeah. But there was
to find that much. To find the reason for that.
But the real kicker was like, about 2 weeks ago, I came across this elderly gentleman. I think he was about 85. He was just out there watering his flowers. He sat there, he listened to us, and I asked him, and we were talking about like property taxes and the rebates, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I think Murphy's doing a great job Joe Biden's doing a great job. I get my tax rebate. I use that to pay my property taxes. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, you're using the rebate, the refund you get for the property taxes to pay your property taxes. I was like, that makes, I said, sir, that makes no sense. I said, you're using a credit card to pay off a credit card.
Right.
Like, you're just, wouldn't you like to just be able to take that money and have it to buy more flowers?
Well, yeah, it's
logical things.
It's like the anchor check that just hit. Everybody's excited about the anchor check.
You get your money back.
My thought is, don't take it in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you've lived somewhere
Yeah.
where your taxes were $2,000 to $3,000 a year on your property taxes, and then you come here where they're $11,000 a year.
Oh yeah.
It makes you really look back and go, I just don't want you. But
stop taking them.
Yeah. Maybe in Pennsylvania where I lived before, where my taxes were $3,000, they didn't give anything back, but they didn't have to.
Yeah.
Here, they give me $1,500 back, and I go, okay, you still owe me a couple of grand.
What are the thresholds for anchor? I'm not sure.
I don't know. I know if you make over $250, you don't get anything. I don't know what's below that, if there are any cutoffs, but.
Wait, are we talking about this anchor or the one that they're promising in 2026?
I don't think that's called anchor. I think the anchor's separate.
Oh, you're talking about the
senior tax.
The senior tax thing?
Yeah, I think that's separate. But anchor it's basically under, I think it was Trump that they changed the way that the rebates happen for your tax. There was a couple things that he did that was smart for the IRS standpoint of, you get divorced and like your alimony, like women have to pay income tax on it, and a thing, different changes like that. But one of them had to be with property taxes. Unfortunately, New Jersey's property taxes.
That's where the salt tax came in. A lot of people are salty about that.
Yeah. So the property tax was a thing that negatively impacted New Jersey, that we don't get to write off all property taxes anymore. It has, so that's where that anchor
I
comes
believe
in.
I believe up to $10,000 or something like that in property tax on any thing. So
that's right. The new
so
thing
I
is
have friends that actually voted because they don't have businesses. We were able to, business owners were able to write off a lot more than people that are just
normal, if you own a property with an LLC versus a independent.
So if you say you have multiple properties, that you're only allowed to write off $10,000 for all your properties. Say you got 10 properties, but you're allowed to write off, like, don't quote me on this, something like $10,000, and that's it.
Right.
So
there's a roof or a ceiling to it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right.
But to go on your point about the not being able to support people, like the pumpkin festival, there's a lot of silent thumbs, like, go get them, guys.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah,
there is, and it's really positive. Like, the door knocking was really positive.
Yeah,
and but the scary part was it was 2 years ago also.
Yeah,
but it's just, I don't know. I don't know if they maybe if you gave them cheesesteaks when they voted. Maybe that's what it takes. I don't know what it takes.
I don't know what it takes either. I just know it's just, I don't know.
It's just like it's just funny though. Like, even when we're out there, and I know Joe takes a lot of damage, or did take a lot of damage, and I don't know why.
I try to figure it out.
But it just amazes me that
that's me.
He's Italian.
Like, even now though, like, it just amazes me, like, the people don't have anybody to stick up for them, and 4 people stood up and said, I'll do it. If not me, then who?
Right.
And their first reaction is to take out all their aggression because they don't answer questions and beat us and just hammer us so hard. It's like, why are you beating me up for the things that are going on?
Privately, privately, I've gotten a lot of aside whatever we'll call them, whatever on whatever medium. Hey, I'm behind you. I'm in a position I can't really be open about it, but X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
Right. So whether they're in police, fire, or otherwise, everybody there's fear of retribution. I mean, that's just a natural thing that nobody.
Absolutely. These are their people. This is their livelihood, right?
Yeah.
This is their.
Right.
If they're a township employee, that's their job.
Yeah.
Like that's literally how they feed their family, right? So to go against somebody and speak out about it, that's basically risking putting food on their table the following week because something could happen.
Think about council meetings. It's hard to even talk to Orlando at a council meeting. Could you imagine if you're an employee in the school and you got to go and talk to him as an HR director or whatever his point is?
Yeah.
Like if he's intimidating, and a lot of people say this, like that he's just an intimidating human being, and he he's got he has a little bit of stature, he has power in town, and then I couldn't imagine that I'm not in the schools, and I'm not employed by anybody, but I couldn't imagine having to go in, and if I had to talk to somebody, what exactly is HR?
Human resources supervisor.
Yeah, I think he's supervisor.
Right. So if you had a thing and he's the final say on something, is that the person you want to go make a complaint to? I'd be a little, I wouldn't be, but I can imagine people that were, less established feeling a little intimidated.
Yeah. Well, like 2 years ago, we did a. It was either a write up. I actually think it was a write up that I did on RestoreGT.com, and it had something to do with the schools. And a family member that works in the schools said, she goes, I went to this website and I realized it was you on the website. She goes, my friends are sharing this thing. And she says, that's great. She goes, are you running for something? I said, yeah. And it was 2 years ago. I said, yeah, I'm running for council. And she said, oh man, she said, that's awesome. She said, look, we would love to support you, but we can't. We can't. So
where does that come
that
from? Yeah,
but
yeah,
we can't.
Like, yeah. This is somebody that I used to play with when I was little, and she's like, sorry, I can't. We're family and all, but I can't. I can't be.
I think a lot of people have a fear of it's just politics in general. So and I don't want to throw my own brother under the bus, right? But I'm going to. So but it's fine. I mean, he's got 3 kids. They're both teachers out of district, but they're both teachers. They're both very involved with sports. They have club teams. They're really, really active. And I go, hey, I want to put some signs out. He's out. I'm not gonna say where he's at, but he's on a main road. And I want to put some signs out. He goes, I go, what do you mean? What is that? He goes, in our neighborhood, nobody's really political, so we just don't want to delve into that kind of thing.
I'm gonna call BS on that.
You want to bet?
Yeah.
Oh, this is conversation. This is actually
No, I'm saying that anybody in his neighborhood is not political.
No,
I'm sure there are.
No, they are, but
he doesn't want to get involved in it.
He doesn't want to.
Yeah,
they're Switzerland.
Yeah,
right. But they amongst their friend circles and are all teachers and things like that. They go, look, we're not gonna jump into politics. Going back to the thing, nobody wants any problems.
Yeah.
And I go, all right, well, if it's not, I don't want to put you guys in a harm's way or put you in a position where, that maybe your kids are getting a position or not getting a position based on that. That's not the way the world's supposed to work.
Right.
Yeah. I remember
a little relief
back in 2 years ago when it was a business owner that owned a deli, owns a deli here, and I remember him approaching Sam and saying, "Hey, we're pulling for you guys," and Sam said, "Hey, can we drop off some signs?" He said, I don't want any trouble from the township, so we can't.
Yeah. You know how many times I've heard that? I don't want to even ask anybody at this point.
It's an awkward feeling. It's an awkward feeling
because I completely understand what it is coming from that. It's when you're a business owner and you need to make payroll for for the week or whatever it is, or pay your invoices to get the deli meat coming in. You need to make sure you have customers, and if some of your customers are, say, they're township employees, maybe it's public works employees, and now somebody from public works got word that whatever deli it is doesn't support us, they might make a thing and say like, hey, I don't want to see any employees over at so and so. You show up over there, and guess what happens? I want to see you. I don't want to see those trucks over there.
We see a ton of township trucks at Wawa. If you look at it, you go down on across from Lamppost or whatever, and there's around 10 o'clock there'll be 10 public.
The back of that parking lot.
Oh yeah, it's
go to Sharky's in the morning. Go over to Sharky's over in somebody else.
Yeah.
Oh my! There's trucks lined up everywhere, and they're there for. It's almost like they go clock in and be like, "All right, let's go over to Sharky's." I used to hate that when people come in, clock into work, and the first thing they do is eat breakfast. You're like,
you're supposed to eat breakfast before you got here.
Yeah, you're on the clock when you get here. Why are we on break the second we clock in? And that's what it seems like over at Sharky's. But
I've gone there 5 times. I've never eaten there yet.
What, Sharky's?
Can't get in.
I don't have patience.
Just wait in line. It ain't that bad.
You're missing out.
It's worth it. You gotta work.
You're missing out.
Yeah, I'll make a post about Sharky's. We'll get some reactions.
I went to some competing places. There was like one in Summerdale that's great. It's a woman's name. I forget what it is now.
In Summerdale?
Yeah.
For a bagel place?
It's a bagel place. It's fantastic.
Where?
I never heard of that.
Oh man, it's like
Sharky's he's a Medford guy, I think.
While you're thinking about that, Sharky's, there was a post about bagels.
And
somebody mentioned Sharky's. Yeah.
I used to go to Red House. It was called. Now I forget what it's called now, but Beck's Bagels, I think it is, over in Belmar on the Pike over.
No, that was it.
Oh, Beck's.
Beck's. I think it's like kind of like Summerdale ish.
Blackhorse
Bagel Ben's a staple over in Voorhees.
Sorry, no, it's not Beck's. I've yet to go to Beck's.
Beck's
it was.
Ellie's
Cafe.
Okay.
No, it's plugging good bagel places. I love us.
Yeah. So, is that Summerdale? Warwick Road?
Today's episode is brought to you today by
Ellie's.
Warwick
Road. Funny thing. So, I rode my motorcycle at Sharky's, and I went there, and I was like, that's too crowded. So I'm driving.
You're such a baby.
Yeah,
How long can the line possibly have been?
I don't even like to pause.
Out the door. You're 30 minutes. They're stealing your time. Oh. No way. I can't wait.
I cruise through, and I got GPS on the bike and stuff.
Wait. Can we stop?
What?
This coming from the guy that said he will not go down to a place if he doesn't have guaranteed parking. He's telling you to wait in line, get off your motorcycle, you lazy guy, and you stand your ass in line waiting for a jalapeno cheese bagel. Meanwhile, he's not going to drive down if he doesn't have VIP parking.
You suck.
What a hypocrite.
No, but the bagels are good. So
the best part about Ellie's was I'm riding around and I'm looking. I'm like, I can't find anything. So I pull into a parking lot and I unplug my phone and I'm looking. Ellie's Bagels. It's got like 5 stars. Where's this place?
One vote?
Yeah. But I thought
the owner likes her bagels.
Yeah.
I gotta find this place, and I hit navigate, and I look at him. Something's wrong. I'm 15 feet from the door. I'm parked in front of it, looking for a bagel place.
Nice.
So that's how I found it. They were good. And Times Square Bagel in I think it's Runnymede.
Really? Times Square? I've never heard of these
Times Square
places.
Bagel's pretty good too. So yeah, good alternatives if you can't make it to Sharky's.
There's a new Jewish deli that this came that it's supposed to be like I think it was a New York one. It came down. It used to be the old Short Hills Deli.
Oh, okay.
That's supposed to be I don't know. I imagine they have to have pretty good bagels. You would think.
Yeah.
You would think.
A lot of them now they buy them from other places that cook them. Like there's
really?
Yeah. So Herman's Deli over in Cherry Hill. I used to love that place too. I was in the same shopping center over in Woodcrest where my businesses over there.
Yeah.
They have really good food. But there's the Kibitz Room over there.
Oh, Kibitz Room kills.
Oh, yeah.
That place kills. They had a pickle bar and everything. That place is fantastic. Yeah. But so in the same ilk, up at the Short Hills Deli that used to be, I don't know if you've ever been to Short Hills, but it was borderline diner with a front end kind of deli, Jewish food. But they a place. I'm trying to think of the place, but a place that's been around since like the 20s, or it's been long standing, whatever it was, is taking it over, and we'll see how it goes. But that'd be another cool place to check out.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we should do an episode, one of these GT Talks on just food places around town. We've been to a bunch of them.
Have you guys been to Skeeter's?
Where's that located?
Well, it's right across from the two dispensaries.
The two dispensaries.
The two dispensaries that are at
feuding.
They're warring at odds based on landlines or something like that. I don't know.
It's the front door.
What's the top thing to eat at Scooters?
I think Keith's pretty partial to the BLT.
Somebody got the BLT before I saw them eating it. I'm like, wow, that looks really good.
My wife was there Sunday, and she goes, "You know what I got?" And I said, "What you got?" She goes, "The BLT." I got it on rye, toasted. It was banging.
Yeah.
And I was like, "It's funny."
Slaps.
French dip. French.
How was the French
short rib French dip?
You got that tonight. How was that?
Excellent. The bread was excellent on it.
I've never had any bad food there. I mean, they
have good food.
That place has been there you talk about that people that do it right in town.
Yeah.
That should be noted, right? So they took over an old Reggie's, an old biker bar or something like that. Kind of turned it, gave it kind of a PJ's vibe. Yeah. Great. There's always good food. There's always great service. Super, super nice people. The staff's always very, very friendly. Yeah. I mean, that place deserves any accolades. Yeah. They're fantastic.
It's funny. Google.
A little free commercial on our podcast here.
Well, Google had asked me. Google asks you when you go to places, "Hey, what'd you think?" And there was an old Skeeter's review that I did in there from years ago, and I'm like, I like this place a lot, but I got to go over here and up this place. I got one bad experience, and I never went back. And then I started going back there again, and it is the food's outstanding. The service,
always good.
The girls that work there are fantastic.
Always good.
They're so nice.
And they work so cheap. You don't even have to tip them much, right, Charlie?
I mean,
there it is. It was a good segment.
Yeah. Jesus, 120 sticks together, and all of a sudden,
all of a sudden you're the cheap guy.
120 sticks together. How is that?
But anyway, I think that's pretty much all we covered this week, right? On GT Talk. What are we? What's it called?
Inside GT Talk.
I can't remember the name.
The other, the last biggest topic on there was, is it me or does Blackwood Clementon Road McDonald's suck?
Oh, it does. It does. I've been there like 2 times, and both times they had Chick-fil-A, right? Chick-fil-A has innovated the drive-through to have people outside and they're going and taking your orders. Prior to that, though, they put 2 ordering windows in.
Yeah.
And so other places decided when they're building these places, like a lot of like the Burger Kings and McDonald's were older. They've been around forever, right? So when they remodel them, they added in a second window. Or a second, what do they call them?
Next to talk.
Like the speaker, right?
Yeah, the microphone thing, whatever. Yeah. So the way McDonald's over on Blackwood Clementon Road is set up now, 2 cars, when they go through, they can't merge into each other. So they both sit there with no one being able to pull up to the next whatever it's called, microphone. So it's just one big cluster, you know what, and you're like, what the heck is going on over here? I've been there literally only 2 times, but both times it was like, is this insane? I had to take a picture of it, just the way that it worked, and I've heard from multiple people talking about how bad it is. Right, you were saying something about this earlier, actually.
People don't know how to do the zipper.
What's the zipper?
It's what it's designed to do. It's like the
But they designed it wrong, though. You can't. You literally can't do it.
It was like the line striping on Blackwood Clementon Road when they did it.
Yeah.
It's when,
That was never going to work.
Yeah.
So the inside lane's designed to where they should come out first, and car number 2 should go behind them.
Right.
But it's no better on the inside because now you have to order your own food, but go to the counter to have the person that would be taking your order bring you the food that you just ordered from the teller out in the lobby.
Yeah, that's great.
So that's
like all they did was skip the part to where the person no longer has to handle money.
just so I know. That's called the zipper system.
Yes. It's how you're supposed to merge. Zipper effect.
It's when you merge into anything.
Yes.
One guy and then
Or are
one
you
guy from
that
this
guy?
lane,
Or
one
are
from
you
this
that
lane.
guy?
You know,
You're that guy, aren't you?
Oh, I take it. Yeah.
Joe's that guy. Joe sneaks in right behind the car that just merged.
Yeah.
You know what's nowadays people are so looking at their phone they're not paying attention. I go like, all right, if you're not ready to go, I'm just going to go.
Right.
Likely.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I
that
do.
guy.
I can't tell you how many times I probably yelled at Joe out the window in the car.
Yeah, but
just laid on
You don't
the
have
horn.
if you not have to yell at me in a fast food place because I don't eat fast food.
You know what?
I'm not gonna be there.
Joe
I'm
don't
gonna
eat
go-
burgers because it's peasant food.
Yeah, we had that conversation. Yeah, not a fan of burgers. Joe is not a fan of burgers.
No.
But if I'm going to get fast food though on Blackwood Clementon Road, Wendy's.
Really, Wendy's?
Yeah, Wendy's.
We don't have an Arby's. I would go.
not
Oh
Panera.
no!
What's it
Stop
called?
it.
Chipotle.
Chipotle all day.
Yeah, Chipotle.
Is that fast food?
Yes.
I don't know. I guess so. I would call it fast
It's
food.
food.
You know
It's
what?
food made quickly.
It's food made quickly, but that's not fast food to me.
The last commercial sold me where the girl's like, "Yeah, we make it fresh every day," and I'm like, oh, I feel like
I mean, it's at least that's made fresh every day. McDonald's, it was made fresh in like 1959. You're eating it today, and it's still fresh.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
They're not even really burgers. I don't even know.
I remember there was like something on TV where somebody had like a burger that was out, like just left out for like a month, and it
Shelf
didn't
stable.
even like
Nothing.
no.
I think it's
mold
like
didn't even grow
I think
on
it was like a
it.
year.
A year.
Was it a year? Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever
It
it
was
was.
an
It was like
insane amount
holy
of time.
crap.
It probably tasted delicious too after.
Yeah. So I
This is why I don't eat fast food
Yeah,
because
or I've eaten the Royal Farms over there.
I did have that because people said like, "Oh, the chicken," and we're like, "Gas station chicken, really?"
Yeah, I had
to try it.
I
I
got chicken
did try
tenders
it.
over there, and I thought I'll go back for this. Yeah.
It
Tell you
just,
what.
to me, it was just like pressure cooked chicken.
it
I don't
is. If you get their, if you ever get breakfast, I get like breakfast wraps. It's kind of my thing. Like get like a egg burrito or something. Theirs are fantastic.
know. Really?
Oh, it was a little chicken on there. Yeah, for breakfast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? They taste better too.
What?
They never applied for tax abatement.
No, that's true.
Hello.
Oh,
But yeah,
Any other topics?
I don't know. I think probably all McDonald's sucks at this point.
oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless they want to sponsor us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Otherwise, that's pretty much it. So yeah, eat local anyway.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I like the mom and pop places.
Or at the very least, if you want a burger, go to Five Guys.
ugh.
No.
Look, locally, this is what I kind of, if we're going to keep this thing going a little bit, I think Blackwood Clementon Road lends well to what it is,
Oh yeah.
right? So that's a good road for those kind of things. It's, when you say eat local, I think I mean, take Philomena's out of it. Philomena's, they do a great job. They have a nice thing, and if you ever want a nice meal, people overlook it sometimes and say there's no place to go in Gloucester Township. Philomena's does a very nice job. They
Yep,
do
I
nice
agree.
specials on Friday to Saturday. On the weekends, they got great food. Very nice people, good ownership. But that corridor right there lends to that. And that's what you should have in those kind of places. Downtown Blackwood, on the other hand, we need to eat local. And that's something that has to change. Something we need to get better at. And we didn't chase Shan out of here, but it unfortunately that happened, and someone else purchased that building. Let's see what's going to happen with that. But, more business need to come down there and get excited about that area.
Any idea what that's going to be?
Not sure.
I talked to Shanna a couple weeks ago, and she said that the lady that bought it, when I told her that her name was still up there, and she goes, she hasn't done anything with that building yet. She's had it for, I think, close to 24 months. So
that long, really? It's been
not 2 years.
No, Shanna said she's had that building since she closed down. The lady bought the building. So she's had it for a while, long enough to.
Well, I mean, you want to talk about a story of like the township holding up the process and not helping along somebody that didn't know what they were getting into.
She's one of them.
She's a perfect example of that story. Where we don't have that person in town they're telling the new person that knows how to cook but doesn't know how to build out a for a commercial place.
Economic development.
Yeah, no one's there telling them, like, here's all the hurdles that you're going to have along the way, where she's got to struggle and figure them all out.
Yeah.
At the mercy of, like, I mean, you know what it's like when you go in there and you're like, oh, yeah, I'm all done. Or like, well, did you do the sprinkler system? You're like, I was just hearing you didn't tell me anything at all.
Man, what about your
hood
and hands on there? You're paying these people.
Yeah, and you're like, all right, cool. I got the sprinkler system done. And I get in and they're like, well, what about the Ansel system? You're like, what's an Ansel system? That's the system. You're like, oh, all right. And you go, it's just, why does the process have to be that way? It's the attitude of the people that are in place in town, right? That are at that job for however many years, and are just like, they know all the things like the back of their hand. They know like this vein goes here. This is how it goes. But you've never seen the back of that hand, and they treat you like you've seen that hand just as many times. And it's just that, how many times have we heard that at council? We've gone over and like, I don't remember that lady's name at the office where they talk about like, why is Mary so mean at the office?
Oh yeah,
but it's just all the time.
Yeah, what's incredible. Keith and I were talking earlier this evening about something that happened with me business wise from the state today. So I get a call from the State Department about something that we're looking to do, and this guy just walked me through everything. But he walked through it in a way that he goes, look, you could do this, this, or this. I'm going to tell you 1 and 2, which aren't going to be options for you. And then I'm going to tell you the third one, which is going to be your best option. Now, I can't tell you how to do it or anything, but you may want to push this button, and then you may want to do this here. But if you could do this, but I can't endorse anybody. I'm just telling you, if you want to get it done through the state, this is kind of the way it's probably something that may work better for you than doing this.
Right. Yeah.
And it's like, wow, you actually have a state or municipal worker who's trying to help you be successful and tell you how to succeed, not telling you why you can't.
Right, and that's what they do.
God
Usually
forbid.
they tell you why you can't, and basically make you feel like an idiot because you don't know why.
Right.
You're
I'm sorry that I don't do your job every day.
Exactly.
I don't tell people no all day as a living.
Right.
Right. Rather than tell them how I can say yes.
Yeah. So one of my roles in concert world, with Live Nation, I'm director of ancillary revenue, right? And that means getting additional money out of people's pockets. And there's a whole culture around. The majority of our staff is like security, right? So you run into like ushers and
pretty
like
cool,
things.
Pretty cool title, by the way.
Yeah,
it's a pretty cool title.
So anyway,
I'm a third-party pocket digger.
Yeah, exactly. It's how to get extra. Yeah, so anything you've paid for, it's anyway. We had to change the culture of saying no to people, right? And this is a massive thing. Like everyone from security, like you try to, I need to get into here. No, you're not allowed. Let me see your ticket, or let me try to get into here. No, let me see your pass to get into here. And it's a no culture, right? So I had to help form. How do you change the culture of no to how can I help you? You know what I mean? And it's a huge undertaking to try to get people that are used to, and again, these are the same type of people that maybe money isn't their thing, but power is their thing, and be able to tell no is the thing that drives me to come to work every day to get paid. But now someone's trying to force me to say, how can I help you versus no. And the whole reason I'm in this job is because I get to say no to you. You know what I mean? And